Welcome back to my window cleaning training video series. In this video, I'm going to talk all about window cleaning buckets. Now you might be saying to yourself, Steve, these are just buckets. What's the big deal? There's just some simple things I'm going to go over that would just make it a little bit more efficient for you and to give you a little bit of my tips from what I found using different style of buckets. This is the typical window cleaning bucket. This is a Pulex bucket. It's a 6-gallon rectangular bucket. You can buy lids for these. These are like under 40 bucks. Come with also clips that can go inside to hold your squeegees. I don't use those as far as that goes. I don't think most professionals do, so I'm not going to go over that. The great thing about having a bucket like this is that typically we all use an 18-inch scrubber if you're doing a lot of commercial and a lot of residential, just because it's going to cover more area on the glass, right? So the nice thing about this, you can just do one dunk in and out of the bucket. You don't have to go side to side. To me, with window cleaning, every single thing that you can save time on is worth it. So if you can just dunk your mop at one time, it's great. It's actually the reason I do not suggest using spray bottles, because you're adding a step where you could just have your mop be saturated, scrub the window. That way you take out a step. You add up those seconds over a year, you're gonna save quite a bit of time. Might sound a little extreme, but I would definitely suggest it for window cleaning. We gotta be efficient. So these are really great just because when you're traveling in a vehicle, you can put a lid on. It's not gonna topple over easy at all. Now, they also, like different brands like Ederay and Unger, make a 3-gallon bucket. The one thing about this is a 14-inch scrubber. So this is going to be able to fit this way, but you're not going to be able to fit an 18-inch scrubber like this. And you're going to have to do side after side, and you're also going to have to wring some in the middle because it's not going to touch all the way. So buckets like this typically aren't used by professionals. From my experience, typically these are more used by homeowners. This particular Unger bucket doesn't come with a lid, so if you do want a 3-gallon bucket that comes with a lid, you can do the Ederay Super Compact bucket. I will put links to the different bucket types in the description so you can take a look at them. Now, the only other really bucket that others will use out there, typically in high-rise actually, these type of round buckets are used more than the rectangular buckets just because of how they are able to be secured onto their chairs and their ropes and everything. But with this, once again, you have to dip your mop this way and this way into the bucket where you can't do this step. This is like the biggest thing with buckets as far as that goes, as weird as it sounds. The nice thing about these buckets too though, you can typically store some squeegees in them, even between jobs, or when you're done with the day, you can pour out the solution, put your squeegees in there. It's a great way to do it. So then that's pretty much it as far as buckets, but I just wanted to go over some of the different ones that you can do, with really the biggest thing being that you're just able to dunk that mop in one dunk. My favorite one is the Unger Pro bucket. This is going to be a little bit more expensive than the Pulex bucket set by about 20 to 30 bucks. But it has the largest opening in the top. You're never going to be able to fit a 22-inch strip washer in any of these like that. You always have to dip one side and then the other. But if you want kind of the biggest one, this is what I found to be the best. And the handle is the most comfortable between the different types. So this is the handles. And you can also buy replacement handles for all of these. So if those break, you don't got to buy a whole new bucket. You have lids for this one. So this is the Pro bucket lid. They're all just pressure fit like that. Easy to go on. Pulex bucket lids are very forgiving. So very easy to get on too during transport. And boom, that is it as far as different buckets that you can use for window cleaning. Like I mentioned, I don't use spray bottles much, but spray bottles can be definitely very helpful on the inside of homes so that you don't have a big bucket of solution. What I do inside homes when I use a 6-gallon bucket, I put it in the entry by the front door so that I can go back, dip my mop, put it on my bucket on a belt. That way I'm not dripping all over the house. Do be careful and cognizant of where your bucket is, especially if you're doing route work or commercial work. You do not want to have this in front of doors. You always want to make sure this is like against a wall where no one can trip over it. You got to remember, if someone does trip over it, you're going to be liable. So you definitely want to be careful with that with any type of bucket like this. If you have any other further questions about buckets, I can't imagine that you really would, comment below and I'm happy to answer those for you. I hope this video helps and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.